Welcome, everyone. It's going to be a year in review here. And welcome to the last day of the year. Many of you have caught me on Rachel's Ghost yesterday evening, and I just jumped up there for fun. That's what I do when I jump up there. But we're going to have a little year-end in review episode for the channel. And I saw Joe Mayo was live, and I think Wednesday's one of his days. So I ran to the grocery store and let him do his thing. But we're here hanging out. I just kind of wanted to talk about the channel and what happened this year. We'll talk about some of the records I found as well. And then we'll talk about, we lost a lot of musicians too. But I guess first off, we're on this is the live stream page. And this is kind of what been my main focus here on the channel. Some videos here, which you guys kind of pop in and check out. We have the Vaginal Monologues, the George Borden from a year ago. And I just kind of have that up here for two reasons. One, it was just a big part of the channel at that time. And two, it was kind of the only George Borden stream that you could even watch for a while. Is that one. So I think that's why people were watching it. But anyway, no, you'll see that the first one listed here, obviously done way more live streams than that. But we have the storage unit haul. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. I expected this video to get a few thousand views. And I didn't hype it up at all. I'm just like, I'm going to hit go live from my storage unit. And we're going to hope that algorithm just pushes it. And I guess briefly, I don't know. I mean, it got good likes. It got good likes, good comments. I'm like, we're not even at 200 views yet. Disappointing because, I as hard as I work on this channel, I was really trying to check out of that VC drama last year. And I hit, in 2024, we hit 1K on our live streams 15 times, 14 times. And we did not hit it once this year. I guess a couple from last year hit 1K earlier in the year, kind of rolled over. But sadly, YouTube does not treat this channel well. And I want to mention that in October of 2024, my parodies were getting around 300 to 600 views. They weren't getting like 1K. But my other shorts wouldn't get very many views at all, but the parodies would get views. And so I'm like, okay, I want one of them to get 1K. And I looking back on it, there's no reason any of them shouldn't. Because Rachel's show was so huge, always getting 1,000 views per every single day. And I would do a parody on the show, which if no reason that any one of those shouldn't be getting 1,000 views. So I checked out of the VC parody game at, kind of around that point, and I started refocusing, trying to do a hip hop channel, hip hop DJ sets, hip hop videos or whatever. And YouTube just decides we're not going to push them. So there was someone made a Crybaby vinyl tag video at the end of 2024, which sort of, I guess, maybe made me feel like I got to do my Rachel's Ghost Patreon episode now. Which, looking back on it, maybe I shouldn't have done it, but I'm okay with it. It got me 1K, and it just proves my point, what YouTube pushes versus what they don't. Now, there's been other videos I've had, like in 2023 when I was growing my channel, that got, one got 2,500 views, one got like 1.7K views, but they're not really clickbait. There just happen to be some good material in there that caused them to go viral. The Walmart one was kind of clickbait. But, I've seen a lot of people, like someone made an Amazon video that's just total clickbait. And yeah, of course, that's going to get pushed to the moon. But I'm not a clickbait channel. And I just kind of figured you guys would appreciate the real experiences. Well, I'm going to tell you, around the storage unit haul, I'm really, like, even sitting here almost a year later, not even at 200 views. Shameful. And I'm going to say this right now. YouTube owes it to me in 2026. Right? No, YouTube doesn't owe you shit. No, YouTube owes it to me in 2026. Because the very next video you see is me trying to convince all of you that this is all bullshit. I am not this fake account going around, but for 11 months out of 2025, it's unfortunate that I had to put up with, I'll just call it the gay Three Stooges, okay? And it's sad that this type of behavior comes from people who say they don't engage with this stuff, but you catch them red-handed so many times to the point where you just complain about it so much so that when you do it, it seems like you're maybe doing it in defense. I can't figure it out. But one thing I can figure out is that it wasn't me the entire time, and I didn't have this obsession. I do want to mention we had the graveyard going here for most of the year, and the graveyard was really just a pet project. I know I told you guys, I guess I thought you guys were going to embrace it a little bit more, just kind of like based on what you come here for. But the graveyard was really set up to catch someone who wrote about dancing on my grave. So if you can't tell, yeah, it was all themed behind that. And it, you know, not only someone, but everyone who followed him fell right into the trap. And I don't need to talk about the graveyard and its demise. It was kind of done on purpose when I realized it's not serving any more purpose. The Tales from the Graveyard series was great, but I was actually kind of exhausted from it that last week. And I wanted to focus on other stuff. You know, this isn't supposed to be about, shitting on people. But like I've always said, if you guys, play that game with me, I'll play it back. In 2026, I don't need to play it. I don't need to make parodies on people. I've told my jokes, and, I don't want to be that guy who makes telling jokes, driving it into the ground to the point where it's not fun anymore. And I think that's kind of what happened in 2025. But you will see, this passive attack video, which was supposed to be, I had Jose Moreno Ron on this, and I think he was actually baited by Stunty on a StreamYard link or somebody. But Jose jumped up on my channel and hasn't always had the nicest things to say about me. But we got some people here, and I'll talk. I guess passive attack, though, it was really to address what someone was someone's obsession over me. I guess acquiring a storage unit full of records was just too much for the biggest crybaby in the VC to handle. Anyway, passive attack. Go watch that if you have time, because you will see in there who the real Satan is Rojas or whatever jumped up on that stream and blew whatever cover you guys are trying to frame me. So what I'm trying to say going forward, quit with the jokes. It's lame. It's tired. I mean, I just thought parody was supposed to be, dished out when necessary and not 3 to 5 times per day, and that's just sad. It's just sad when the person making the stuff thinks that they're their own entertainment. And it's funny, they share all their memes, they go around, all their butthurt friends hit a thumbs up. If you're asking me, all those thumbs up represent a thumb up that dude's ass. And that's the truth. Because on my parodies, I never had to send those out. Hey guys, take a look. Give me a laugh. Give me a like. You guys like that on your own. I mean, telling the joke is my job. I don't have to sell that to you also. To anybody who needs to know what a parody is, Jesus Christ. All right, little rant there, but we're going to talk about the troll stream. And this was a whole, more than anything, this was an algorithm argument. Because I said I wasn't going to do the troll stream last year unless that video got 50 likes beforehand, which should technically guarantee you 1K views in that day. Well, we're still sitting here, climbed up to 800 kind of fast, and it's kind of stalled. But my point exactly, YouTube didn't algorithm me until I did that video. But fast forward 2 weeks later, and we have that, my most viewed live stream of this year, didn't even get algorithmed. You guys came here and watched it. By all means, it deserves its 1K. It's the most important live stream of this year. More action happened on that stream than all of Wax's streams combined this year. Not like that matters, but you know, I don't know what the deal is. I back up to January when Rachel's channel disappeared, and so too did the live stream audience of the VC. Now, I think most of them are watching the Waxed. Steve Westman still has his audience, but I don't think his audience was watching Rachel ever. And then you got people like Joe Mayo, who, you know, there's a live stream community, and for some reason in January it's scattered. Well, last January and February and really into March, I had no time to, you know, work a live stream. I was going through my you know, those new records at the storage unit, trying to make space, room, shelving here. And, you know, I set up the graveyard to, you know, have some entertainment for you guys, and I guess to see if the live stream scene was still around. But for whatever reason, it's somewhat broken up. But I'm still disappointed that, you know, this year, this is our only, I mean, we got good record talk in here. We got a good panel of guests. Arnie Zanzibar, final Richie Great appearance. But it just disappoints me that this is what YouTube pushes when when I make that content, that's what YouTube decides to push. It's not fair to me. But we got this right here, and, you know, when someone was trying to bury me or whatever, I mean, catching this dude in a lie or pulling something out of his butt ain't that hard. I mean, the thing is this guy didn't even start hitting 1K views until he had Dom Seeking the Thread on his panel. Now everybody watches him. So all I'm saying is without that one factor, it's not even competition. It's not even you know, it's nothing to me. But you know, it's like, what do we got here? Rachel's Hooks 480 views. I don't know what the algorithm is anymore. That's me. You know, I guess the reason why we're doing this video is we're doing this in 2026. There's not going to be a Jeff Gasnacchio. And to Mark, it's time to start riddling, man. And when I was up on Rachel's channel last night and says that I owe him an apology for something, well, I can just tell you that the only one who gives a shit about that is Mark, because no one cares about you. And this whole, like, in the event I do decide to give you some sort of apology, what would it even accomplish anyway? I owe you no apology. You not only owe me an apology, you owe one to Michael 45. You owe one to Fred Putterman, Mark Lassman, because you did that to him too. You cyber stalked him, you doxed him, you harassed him, and you trolled him. Many apologies that you owe to people. And what, are you going to drag the VC through a whole nother year of this? I don't think it's very cool. But anyways, you will kind of see we had tapered off at the end of the year, and I really want nothing to do with that, you know, drama crap and bullshit. But it does seem like, oh no, we got, you know, a month ago, this got close to 400 views. Sprinkle in a little drama, and I guess people will come in. But you know, Steve Cropper, rest in peace. D'Angelo, rest in peace. Sadly, you know, two death tribute videos that you know, I'm not saying that's not the purpose of this channel at all. But I mean, these are, both of these tributes came from the heart. These were genuine. I've been collecting and listening to these artists, especially Steve Cropper. I was vocal about how much he was my favorite guitar player, and said, told people to drop the wanker named Eric Clapton and pick up some Booker T and the MGs records. And so that's why I made that video. I looked around. It looked like other bigger channels covered Steve Cropper. So YouTube is not going to, do me the solid and take this to a 10K view video or whatever. Not like I put in the effort for it. It was totally last minute anyway. But on that note, speaking of musician deaths, I do want to change the subject here. And I did Google this, and I almost wrote these down, but I figured, it's all written down right here conveniently on Google for me. So let's just go through the list. I mean, we lost a lot of musicians. And I'm not going to lie, I've had lots of these artists in stock, and let's just read the list. Ozzy Osbourne, Brian Wilson, Marianne Faithfull, Sylvester Stewart, Sly Stone, Garth Hudson of the band, Jimmy Cliff, Rick Buckler of the Jam, Perry Beaumonte of The Cure, David Johansen, otherwise known as Buster Poindexter of the New York Dolls. Try not to remember the Buster Poindexter years, but a brother's got to make money, right? Roberta Flack, that was a sad one. She's great. And, on that note, some artists pass away and their catalog shoots up. You should have no trouble finding a Roberta Flack record for less than, for around a few bucks. Sam Moore of Sam and Dave. And then, shortly thereafter, we lost Steve Cropper, and then Don Bryant, Gwen McCrae, Chris Ray. I think he's like a blues guitarist. I had one of his records that I flipped, but not familiar. Carl Carlton, which I actually sold. One of my record celebrity sales is to Pete Rock, where I sold him a Carl Carlton 45. And then we got some other notable Jelly Bean Johnson of the time, looks like a few others, but I don't know. I just kind of wanted to cover that list because it's quite the significant list of people that we've lost. And D'Angelo, I don't think was on that list, which is unfortunate. He's a Grammy winner, and we've been a crazy year. I mean, I think there's been years where I don't think we really lose a lot of musicians, or at least like as far as high profile names are concerned, we don't really lose them. But tough year, tough loss. And I guess, Connie Francis, I don't know if that was on that list there. Let me double check, because that was a huge one. Yeah, I don't see Connie Francis on this quick list anyway. And that was the huge one because she had a huge TikTok push. And then I guess you can throw in Bridget Bardot put out some albums too. So yeah, guys, little review of the channel. I think it's a shame that or I guess I'll mention, when I got this current strike that I'm serving, and I got the email and it said my punishment was I wasn't going to be in the algorithm. Well, I was just like, what do you mean? You guys haven't algorithmed me all year. And when you have, it's been the bullshit content that I've been trying not to make. And sadly, when I found this record, YouTube didn't give a shit. That's all right. I don't expect like AI to know exactly what I did that day. Of course, sometimes AI does. Anyway, no, this is one. Okay, going into the finds of 2025, I'm going to show 3. I'm going to highlight 3 because I mean, technically the Connie Francis record. How many copies of those did I find for $1? And I'm not even going to say the amount of money I made on those. So technically, those are the great finds. Of course, I had faith in that record too. And then, plenty of flips for $1 that I don't have, that I can't remember. But you know, as far as like this being on my Discogs want list for 12 years, a long time. I remember when I checked it, it was, I think, 12 or 13 years. And Red Cross, I've had their stuff on my want list for all their stuff, and even reissued stuff, and especially, you know, when they're spelling the band name the way they shouldn't be. I actually never thought I would even own that record. But killer debut EP. Also highlighting this, Jimmy McGriff from that Jazz Hall. Jimmy McGriff, most of his stuff will be on Solid State, which I actually have kind of been looking out for a couple of those Solid State records I didn't know about that might have been worth a little bit more, but typically a bargain bin album. And it was really cool and unique to find this Blue Note. Funky as hell. And you got a little chocolate cheesecake there too. Another great find. And, you know, I didn't have to, it's great when it's at the Goodwill, you know, right by your house. How convenient. Drop off records at the post office and get a nice haul at the Goodwill. And then a month later, records became $4. Anyway, this is the other find I'm going to highlight. Original stereo press, 1960, Wes Montgomery, the incredible jazz guitar. And I guess what makes this so special is the channel, Loose Hooks, saw this before me, and I thought his thing was he's a big jazz guy. And he didn't buy it, and I did. So I guess that's why it's especially important to me. But happy 2026 PD, all the best. And year in review, it could be negative, but a year from now when we do this, it's not going to be so negative. But I guess I want to, you know, address and yet think great. Rachel's show, I think people are expecting, like, you know, what happened in 2024 when they were practically attacking me. I think, honestly, Rachel losing her channel about a year ago, maybe reality set into place a little bit. And I don't feel, you know, I don't feel bullied, I guess, by that channel like I used to. So jumping up there wasn't bad. And I actually felt comfortable. Thank you, Simon, Final Dale, for jumping up there. It's always nice when, you know, I can feel comfortable with another person up there, not feel attacked, because I know Simon's not going to attack me. He's good people. So, Dave, welcome. This year we raised $7. I at least contributed $4. So don't look at me if this guy can't get fed. You know, not my problem. Happy New Year, Zeb. Welcome, and James Farley. Let's see. We got. I am sub to Grace Thorpe. You know, I mean, I feel like I have to be. I feel bad for her. I mean, I don't think any young female should be living in an RV with her father. She's a, you know, or I don't know. I mean, she's also a YouTube celebrity, so you do you. Anyways, the Waxed says hello from Bingo Night. I guess it's New Year's Eve. We all need something to do on New Year's Eve. You know, Bingo Night. I guess when you're hitting middle-age years, there's something to do. Arnie, Jose lacked Feliciano, who was excluded from Wax's channel. Man, looking forward to the clever comments of Arnie Zanzibar in 2026. Let's be honest. Greatest troll in YouTube history? No. So you mean Low-Key Tito is retired? I could bring it back. That was really just a post graveyard pet project that I set up on an alternate, like a different email, because I was basically creating parodies that I felt had been done on me that I felt were unfair, and I couldn't get them reported. The goal with those parodies was to get them reported, but on a separate email account, and they did get reported. And I want to mention why they got reported for copyright songs, and not like you know, whatever. You know, They were basically parodies, post Tales from the Graveyard parodies that I wasn't going to upload, that I thought, nah, these are maybe funny ideas, but they're a little unfair. And then when the graveyard closed, I just threw them up there and see, like, okay, if they get viewed, it's because people are coming to view them. So, yeah, no, because, and the real reason on that note, 2025, or, I put up with a lot of this channel, Tokyo Brian, 3,000 subs, Concert Buddy, 3,000 subs. I just reported your video and all of a sudden it's down. So yeah, YouTube, I don't like how they treat channels, and they basically, this whole, you hit 1K subs, here's your badge of honor. But it's like, here, look at me, I'm fighting for it and they won't give it to me. I mean, that's kind of when I say, YouTube owes it to me in 2026. They truly do. And oh no, they don't owe me shit. They owe it to me in 2026. Low key ran out of money. Uh, maybe is that why Rachel's audience has dropped? Probably not. But Rob's tracksuit was just deported. Uh-oh. Yeah, uh-oh is right. And yeah, this guy here, I mean, the wannabe Arnie Zanzibar, assman pants. I mean, jazz ass jazz pants. I don't know. Assman owes an apology to the record store he sent into bankruptcy. Yeah, he's referring to the Sam the Record Man incident. But anyway, Vinyl Richie, people die when they get old. They sure do. And let me see, Jellyborns didn't die this year. He just... well, we'll still see him up on Rachel's Ghost. Can't wait to hear all about the sold-out show David Donnelly played. And Vinyl Piper, welcome. Vinyl Piper, you will like this channel hopefully a lot better next year than you did this year. Because I'm basically going to be making the channel you want to see. So, and that's because I want to make it. But Donnelly is playing at a local phone booth near you. He could be up on the live stream at any given time too. You guys, come on. All the VC channels are getting bigger than Wax's apartment, including Beetle Babe's last scarf video. YouTube's a tough place for us little music dwellers. I think all of us want to be some sort of music expert or some sort of authority on, I don't know, the Beatles or something. And if I'm not an authority on the Beatles, I'm going to cyber stalk and harass Joe Mayo for the rest of my life. I don't get it, man. Anyways, Mother still collects shrunken heads like Mazdog and Jelly. Well, no, I just jumped up there yesterday to complain about my vinyl tag not getting pushed. Actually, we're going to shift focus here. And it's unboxing day number 3. Well, as you can tell, I've already unboxed these. But I'll go ahead and show you. Got a couple more in the mail today. Always reuse LP mailers. And if you guys order records from the internet, if you don't resell records, I encourage you to donate them to your record stores or whatever, because, they're not cheap. I always reuse them, and it's a great way to recycle without taking stuff to the recycling center. But so this order was spawned by the passing of Bridget Bardot. And the morning she passed, it was very early morning. I woke up super early, 5 a.m. And not kidding, I saw the news buzz, like it buzzed. I'm sitting there holding my phone and it buzzed, and I'm like, wow, man. That's how the news hit me. I was browsing my phone looking for news, and sometimes the news finds you. But when she passed, okay, I don't have to repeat myself. The theme on this channel, at least the last 6 months, was collecting cheesecake records. And a few weeks prior to Bridget Bardot's passing, I went on her Discogs page and I was like, I really do need to make Bridget a part of this whole project. And I started looking at some of her covers. I'm like, this is way too much than what I want to pay for. Number one. Number two, I didn't know where to pick, which one to choose. And so those two factors combined, too expensive, don't know what to pick. But she passed away. And I actually spent the following like 3 hours looking her stuff up on Discogs. And, I mentioned getting a lot of orders, using those orders to buy records I want. I'm going to tell you, I opened my pocketbook up for this one. So, yeah, I'm going to show you the first one, Japan import with the Obi. And this came from a record store in Wichita, Kansas. So it got here rather quickly. And I might have a good, maybe half dozen Bridget records on the way. But like I mentioned, I'm going to be doing a spotlight on like a cover model, one per week. Hopefully, I want to do a really good video on Bridget. And like I mentioned, how some of her records were hard to choose from. I don't think anyone really is going to remember Bridget Bardot for the music she put out. Maybe a little bit, but most notably her acting career and modeling. But she did some music, some pop chanson music, which I've always kept like Edith Piaf records around. But this is a different style. It's it's chanson music, but it's cute. So and I do want to listen to this soon, but I also have to mention that my Marantz receiver blew out yesterday, and I got to take that to the shop. And I called today to get like an estimate, how much it was going to be and how the time frame or whatever. Could be like 3 months, and it's a $400 to $500 repair. So there you go. We will be plugging in the old receiver here soon enough. And I guess I was really loving that Marantz because it has a little dial on there. You can kind of, depending on what record you have or even what country it's pressed in, there are certain settings that, make each record sound, give it an optimum sound. Also from that seller in Wichita, been looking out for a lovely copy of Around Midnight by Julie London. This is a record I've seen in great shape, people looking for around $40 for. I'm going to show you real quick. $35 on that Julie London sticker, and then on the Bridget it had $38. I paid half price. The guy had them listed for half his price. So I don't know. But I snagged those quick. That was a great bang for my buck order. I'm very happy with that. We do got one more here. And yeah, I think the whole Pergola thing unboxing was kind of maybe an experiment, to see. I wanted to, do these more spontaneous, right as I find records. This is what I got, hot off the press. So I actually thought that would be an appealing way to show you guys records. But, you guys kind of maybe. The Pergola was starting to hit the algorithm there for a while. I think one of them got like 500 views. In 2025, that was the algorithm for me. But anyway, I got another order. I don't remember the seller, and I guess I just tossed the box. But at $100, I got free shipping, and he had a few things on my want list. First thing is the coolest one I'll show you. I do have an OG US of this, but at the price of $40, I could not pass up a UK 91 original of De La Soul Is Dead. This is going to be on Big Life, and Tommy Boy put up the US stuff, but Big Life was the UK label, I guess. We got the red label as well. And then the inner sleeve on this had like a comic book. So I'm going to peek in there, and I hope it has an inner sleeve. Bummer. Well, the US version has a little comic book inner sleeve. And I guess if I want to read that, I can just get my US press. The cool thing, I paid $100 for my US press because more than I paid for any De La Soul original. And when it popped up, it was a sealed copy, and that's why I paid $100 for it. And it was like, okay, I guess this is the way it's going to have to be to complete your original presses. But to get this for 40, two OGs for, I don't know, it might be one of my favorite De La Soul LPs. Also picked up, well, I showed that Lynn Anderson record of her kind of staring in the mirror. Is this the same mirror here? Dolly Parton, the fairest of them all. I think maybe 73 on the year. This is an early Dolly. And I guess, she does look a little bit dolled up, and I guess the fairest of them all, but this still is, they're kind of, you're still pre-tacky era Dolly Parton. Tracks on here, I don't really remember this album. But Daddy Come and Get Me was the only one that I think I remember. I'm gonna have to listen to this again to kind of really remember this record. So forgive me, it's all good. When you have 10,000 records in your apartment, you can't remember everything. But then I got this as well. Another record. It's been on my Discogs want list for over a decade, maybe 15 years. The reason why is when I used to DJ, there was this thing called Hood Night, or when funk and soul got especially grimy and filthy. And what I'm talking about is like the 80s, like kind of Quiet Storm funk, but when it got really funky. And there were just some nights where, like, I call them the Lincoln Crew, because I had to fight to get into this crew. It was tough. But there's a song on this record, I Want to Thank You. And when I first heard it, I'm like, I can't believe I haven't ever heard this at Soul Night. And I'm like, let me put this on my want list. It's a little pricey of a record, but I'm going to drop this at Soul Night, and they're going to be like, what the heck are you playing? And I actually never had that opportunity. I couldn't get a good enough copy of this until now. So that's what this record is. Alicia by Alicia Myers on MCA. MCA Funk and Soul. Sometimes this kind of stuff gets looked over as like bargain records. I'm sure maybe this was in bargain bins for years, but a rare record and a great record. And it is that it's that R&B, I think 81, yeah, when R&B was sort of maybe breaking a little bit out of that disco sound a little bit, and then they started calling it Quiet Storm. I think that song, if you go listen to it, I Want to Thank You, it's right, it's like even a crossover song. Disco meets Quiet Storm. Anyway, to get free shipping, I paid $4 for this record. So it was either add this record to my cart for $4 or pay $7 to have this guy ship it. So I I look after that stuff. But this is Mac McCowan, The Sound of Yourself, and he basically is, I think, one of the founders of Merge Records. When I was checking this out, it might look like I don't know. Not a lot of people are buying this record, but I think maybe as a record label owner, it was his dream to put his own record out, and looks like he signed it. So hey, autograph copy, cool. Well, there you go, guys. Little last day of the year rant. I just wanted to get this in because I guess I was holding my breath for this rant. I think maybe I've said most of it anyway, but in other videos. But I guess when I mentioned that channel Loose Hooks, to see like, that I was making very similar videos in my, first start, and YouTube is pushing this guy to the moon. I think he's got a couple 10K view videos already. I'm going to say this, by mid-time next year, I bet the channel Loose Hooks is bigger than The Waxed. And that's just because YouTube is pushing him that way. And he's already got a monetized channel, and, good for him. But, I do got to really put into perspective a little bit. What would I rather have? a big giant channel with lots of viewers, or a copy of this. And it did make me realize, what do you do all this for? Are you doing this for fame and notoriety? And, I want to make videos for people and share my experiences with you. And I think a lot of people like my videos and come here. Like, you guys are hanging out here for a reason. But as far as being a vinyl community channel, I think there are a lot of us right now, especially, who are trying to be celebrities and are forgetting about why we do this, why we go out every day, why we dig, why we look for these records. And I guess I hold this record up. It's like, I don't know if the guy's trying to be a celebrity or not. YouTube's sure trying to make him one. I mean, like I said, when you look like Gavin Rossdale from Bush, you got the look. You can just, you can hit the copy and paste button from the Pumping Vinyl channel, like, Jazz Bums Mike did the other day. And, you have that freedom, I guess, You can be unoriginal you want. All that matters is that you get the credit for it. So, anyways, Dusty Spins, welcome. How is the VC doing nowadays? Well, I thought, did you exit the VC? I'm not okay. I kind of stopped watching your channel because there was drama on it. So, but I guess as far as I've been, last 6 months have been trying to like avoid that entirely on this page anyway. Oh, maybe a little bit. I guess I did that. I did that Fraction Moonblood parody, which was great. Go check that out on the main page. I guess I could show you real quick too. We'll show you the last VC parody I did. There you go, man. Appropriate for the year in review video. Fraction Moonblood. I mean, come on, man. I don't know. I guess I just did that because I thought maybe he was posing with the record. You can't pose with the record. You can't do that. Where's your Acid Archives video? You can't pose with the record. Or maybe you can. I don't know. I don't like seeing people posing with records, man. Or maybe I did it a time or two. I just watched myself back and thought how lame it is to be a vinyl poser. Mazzy and the Rainbow Orchestra, Novice Nick on the Skin Flute. William, watched you get a lot of crap on Rachel's last. I didn't think I got a lot of crap. I guess I'll mention Spring Hill Jim jumped up there, and that's what he does is he just tries to instigate stuff with someone. Between butt kissing the waxed and trying to start a fight with me, there really is nothing that Spring Hill Jim even does in the vinyl community anymore. Here's a great New Year's resolution, and I don't want to, maybe me giving you this idea, Jim. I should let you come up with it on your own. But New Year's resolution, quit harassing people so much, Mind your own. Here, New Year's resolution 2026, Spring Hill Jim. I know it's going to be tough for you, my dude, but mind your own business. That's a great resolution for a guy like you. Just mind your own business. And like last night on Rachel's show, you're talking about your channel. Sadly, YouTube pushed you, Spring Hill Jim, because you were pushing videos of you playing the drums. They were pushing you to people who are interested in drums and watching drum videos. And sadly, you gave them a bunch of content that they didn't need to see. I think ultimately that's maybe, in addition to the, the videos you were making, I just, you got to ask yourself, Jim, what is the purpose of what you're doing here? So, New Year's resolution, leave people the fuck alone and mind your own business. Would love to see it. And in fact, I don't know, you did towards the very end when it seemed like you were done trying to butt kiss the waxed and blame me for everything. Focus on you. And at the very end, you said, I'm going to hold you to your words. That's all I'm going to say. All right. The Wax and Maslow have become trained seals in the vinyl community. I can smell Maslow infomercial from here in Florida. I think, yeah, I think half of his videos do involve some sort of, record shilling. What do we see? Are you guys going to buy a Dr. Dre reissue at Mazzy's recommendation? See, I don't know, man. I guess they didn't contact me, the hip hop guy. They're like, no, Mazzy's our go-to guy for some hip hop. Anyways, that's it. Year in review. And it was a weird year for me. And the sad part about the vinyl community, too many people like to fight. I think the people who like to fight the most have reality on their. All right, that glitched up a little bit, but cheers. And I'm going to close this one out, but I think I do got to address the trolls one last time here in 2025. Because is there going to be a troll stream in 2026? And, I would like to say no. We don't really need to do that anymore. But you trolls really got to ask yourself, like, what are you trying to accomplish that you didn't accomplish in 2025? I don't think you guys accomplished very much. I think you guys got yourselves into a little bit more trouble. And I'm not talking about the cool trolls like Dave the Pickup Artist and Arnie Zanzibar. I'm talking about the gay Three Stooges and whatever, clique formed around those guys. I mean, Jim, do you want to make videos about music? You playing drums? This is me and my music life? Or do you want to spend time on your channel shitting on people? I mean, it's just sad because, you could start your own channel again, making drum videos. And I don't think YouTube's going to give you the same push that they did. But another thing I'll say, Jim, when you and I were friends, James Farley said, I think William's a better influence on you than Martin McGrath. And I think halfway through this year, sadly, you just became an even more dangerous person than you were being friends with Martin. And that goes as far as, doxing people. I don't know why you feel the need to do that. I don't know what you feel you're accomplishing by, spreading personal information, digging out personal information, harassing people. Harassing people isn't trolling. Trolling would be, when someone's going on a rant and they're not, they're pulling political shit out of their ass, them on their political talk. But I don't need to, Concert Buddy, who last night on George Borden was just pulling out all kinds of, politicalisms that he's heard a million times over. I don't need to harass Concert Buddy daily over that, Your one troll comment is good enough. Burly Bear and Passive, I think I'm not sure who Burly and Bear are, but you're probably accurate. You know, you don't need to explain yourself. It's all right. Anyways, guys, I don't want to rant anymore. 2026. I want to be like, you know, we're done with the rants. It's a music channel. So going forward, I do think there's going to be one live stream per week in 2026. The reason why you guys have been noticing me pop up frequently, and I was trying to throw the algorithm off and maybe see if somehow we could magically get like a 1K algorithm push in the last month. I was not hoping for it or praying for it, but I still do think that here on this main page that I have, or I guess it's not on the main page now, but this right here, please do go watch that again and again and again. And that's what I want for Christmas, is my 1K view for 2025. So I think I deserved it. So anyways, guys, I'm done bitching. Probably gonna make this video private, but we'll take you out with some tunes. Happy New Year. Stay safe. Don't drink too many of these. I'm gonna have one more of these today, I promise. And I'm not getting wild. I don't get wild on New Year's anymore. And I did reach a point. I think I went out one year and, you know, hung out with some friends, but it's just like, you know, when New Year's just becomes going out to the bar, I just like, you know, that's just what it started to feel like after a while anyway. But all right, guys, Happy New Year. And we'll see you in 2026. Brandon, welcome. Thank you. You are Pumping Vinyl royalty. Get you, and we'll see you guys. We'll see you next year. How about that? Cash me outside. How about that?